For decades, Mr. Spock has been pop culture's definitive representation of extraterrestrial life. He is the scientist, calculating, devoid of emotion, and bound strictly by logic. That detached worldview is perfectly captured in his signature sign-off, the phrase, "Live long and prosper," delivered alongside the V-shaped Vulcan hand salute. It looks and feels so thoroughly extraterrestrial that it's easy to assume the gesture was designed in a 1960s Hollywood writer's room to look unnatural to human hands. The symbol originates from a deeply emotional, ancient religious tradition on Earth. To understand how it ended up on the Starship Enterprise, we have to pull back from the stars and travel to 1930s Boston. Leonard Nimoy was born here in 1931 to Jewish immigrant parents who had arrived from Ukraine. He spent his early years cutting his teeth in neighborhood theater productions. By 1949, he traveled to California to study at the Pasadena Playhouse. He spent nearly 2 decades taking small acting roles, writing, and directing, before finally landing his role on Star Trek in 1966. Nimoy took an active role in building Spock's psychology, figuring out how an alien mind would operate. During the filming of an early episode, Spock had a single-word line, "Fascinating." Caught up in the energy on set, Nimoy delivered the line loudly and with passion. The director immediately stepped in with a defining note: play the scientist, be completely detached, treat whatever is on the screen as a curiosity rather than a threat. By stripping away outward emotion, Nimoy established a logical baseline for the character. This created a canvas that allowed him to eventually inject his own personal history into the role. The opportunity arrived in 1967, during the filming of the episode Amok Time. The script required Spock to approach a Vulcan matriarch named T'Pau. Nimoy felt a unique greeting was required for the scene to distinguish Vulcan culture from human social norms. He remembered a ritual he had witnessed 25 years earlier as a child. He had found the experience magical. The memory took him back to an Orthodox Jewish synagogue in Boston's West End. A young Nimoy watched a group of 5 or 6 men facing the congregation, passionately chanting a Hebrew benediction in a series of shouts. To deliver the blessing, the men extended their hands toward the crowd, dividing their fingers out into a distinct V shape. The literal translation of this blessing is, "May the Lord bless you and keep you." Nimoy demonstrated the gesture to the director, Joe Pevney, who accepted it immediately. This logically detached alien greeting reflects the movements and intent of a human spiritual blessing. The Vulcan salute and the phrase, "Live long and prosper," resonated with audiences, becoming permanent fixtures in global pop culture. It succeeded because of its dual nature. The hand placement appears foreign enough to belong to an alien species, while the sentiment functions as a comforting earthly benediction. Nimoy explained the gesture brought him pleasure because it transmits a universal desire for peace. Nimoy passed away in 2015, but his legacy persists through this specific addition to the Star Trek universe. By integrating a piece of his own heritage into the sci-fi canon, Nimoy rooted one of our most recognizable symbols of the future in a much older tradition.